Hey everyone, welcome back. So we're on the 5th step of the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy coaching program. And we have our gorgeous Sam. And now we're going to work through, heal, balance the throat chakra. So this is the fifth chakra. And this is about clear communication, authenticity. This is such an input. See, when we get to the heart, we've gone through the physical layers of the human experience, the root, foundations, trust, goals, the sacral, intimacy, creativity, emotions, inner child, relationships, the solar plexus, that's all about our confidence, our self-esteem, how we go out and project ourselves in the world. Then we go through the heart. So the heart is the biggest, for me, one of the biggest areas. It's where we can do a lot of the clearing, if not most of the clearing, because here's where we have to process those painful emotions. They accumulate, the root, the sacral, the solar, and they project out through the solar, how we go out in the world. But the heart is really where we can cleanse those, release those, let go of those, and bring in different emotions that open up our DNA. It's just love, compassion, empathy, understanding, forgiveness, all of those things. So that's really our kind of spiritual gateway opening up. That's where we do a lot of the processing. And then we can take that up into the throat. If all of the, what I've just said is blocked or unbalanced, then we are going to either express that and create in our reality those things that we believe about ourselves and about the world and about how things are and how my life is. That gets manifested through the vibration of the throat, whether those words are internal or external. So the throat's super important to manifest the reality that we want. So the archetype here that we're going to tune into at some point in the session is the wise sage. So the wise sage is the storyteller, it's the shaman in a way, it's the one that goes round and goes community to community and tells stories. It's the one that can bring about healing with their words. That's the archetype.
Oh, sorry. Out. Thought I was being brave, allowing them to stay in.
Mine doesn't bark, Ozzy. It's just a big dopey thing. So the wise sage is where we're going to become conscious of our words and make sure that what we are putting out, the vibration we're putting out, because that's the thing that's going to be created, it is in total alignment to the true self. So it was so let's just recap. So last week we did the heart.
Yeah.
Tell me how things manifested after the session.
What you said at the beginning, kind of it hit the nail on the head for me, because I feel like once we'd done the heart work, everything else just fell into place. Like it felt calm. It just felt easy. It felt in flow. It felt like all of that work that we'd done up until that point just slotted into place.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a really, really lovely week. Really lovely week. It's been easy. There's been, I might set myself some targets, but if those targets aren't met, that's okay. It's just everything has just been c'est la vie.
Love that.
Yeah.
I definitely need to take my own bloody medicine and tell you this week. Oh my God. How's that felt for your life?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Because there's no, it's like I know stress is bandied about so much, but it's like there was no feeling of stress or no feeling of pushing or achieving, or it was very, I suppose it's just being very present in the moment and very now. So everything was as it's meant to be. So it just opened up everything else that came in from life was just okay. It was present. This is how it was meant to be. There was more laughter, more fun. There just wasn't that feeling of pushing and achieving and striving and gaining. It was just like, okay, it's really hard to put into words.
I know what you mean, and it is hard to quantify because it's just a different way of being, and you can't say, well, I know it can be hard to express exactly like and quantify what it is, but I do understand. Have you felt the presence of your guides?
A couple of times, yeah, a couple of times. I've called on them. It's really weird because they really bring different energies. Like, you know, like when I've called upon them just to check in. Haven't done it much because, like I say, it's been a really easy week. It's been really flowy. But the energies that they bring, it's just incredible. It's just incredible.
Who would you say, because of how you felt this week and the just peace around it, who do you think has been with you the most, or whose energy do you feel has really helped you the most? That one, yeah.
Definitely not the High Priestess, because she was like my power. She's not really, you know, the power and the energy that she brought has not been there. Not that I've been lacking in energy, but she was like my powerhouse. So she's definitely not her. Maybe I think if I don't know whether I can choose one. Maybe from the heart, I can't remember who that was, but I can visualize the archetype.
Healer, yeah.
The healer. Because with the healer, they all came in, you know. Maybe that one, and maybe second would be the root, the nice priest and priestess. Yeah,
definitely. And I definitely feel like with the healer, he or she's brought in more self-nurturing for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, rather than this outward push, the needs are being met internally.
Yeah, definitely.
How does it help relationships at all?
It has. It's funny because it's almost like I knew we were doing this session on the throat, and I could almost feel it building physically. To my throat, like, okay, we've come up here like a little thermometer, we've got to this bit, and now it's bubbling again, you know, like this bubble, because I know we're coming to work on this area, and I could feel. And a couple of times the communication has been a bit but generally there's been so much freedom, freeing. It's been more freeing, just more relaxed.
Good.
Yeah,
because control was one of the things that was there, wasn't it, in the beginning? So well done. So you're making great strides, basically.
It feels amazing, I must say. I feel this spot that I'm in now, this not pushing, not controlling, not wanting to achieve, and kind of that external validation, that need to be needed, although I do need to be needed.
It's a nice feeling.
Yeah,
it can be a nice feeling, and sometimes it can't be. It's not a nice feeling. It depends, doesn't it?
That's it. It's that, where is it coming from? Like, where is that need coming from? If it's coming from that balanced place, then it's okay. But if it's coming from that place where you're fulfilling that need in you and that belief in you that is not so good, then that's not a healthy way to see it, and need to be needed from.
Yeah. What do you think's been the biggest change or shift or insight even so far up to this point?
The biggest area that we worked on for me was the solar plexus. That was huge.
That was huge. That was funky. Yeah.
That was huge. And I think that was the biggest biggest release and a biggest turnaround I've had, and probably one that I wouldn't have said. I would have thought it would have been the root or the throat, or, you know, I wouldn't have necessarily believed that it was held there. So I think that, because the amount of anger that was released through that week, which only fed beautifully into the next one, you know.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that was the biggest turnaround, that I was holding on to that anger and not allowing. That was, the anger was the easy emotion, but once I let it go and let the love in, that became freeing.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, that was huge.
And that then opens the gateway with the heart. Then
Yeah,
that can
yeah,
totally change your life, which
yeah,
is what it's doing. So well done. You, like I say, you're doing amazing, and it's such a pleasure to be doing this with you, so we can see the transformation that this
it's incredible. Yeah,
you're going to use this with your clients.
yeah,
So what we're going to do, we're going to work with the throat as in the normal way, take you through the throat meditation. We'll see what comes up. I've read your workbook, and you know, the big thing is still a little bit about how can you get heard more effectively, and there's a level of frustration underneath that, and the thing about, what, you know, why can't they just listen and be there?
yeah,
So there's still some frustration there, which is fine, because you know what, communications is a skill,
yeah,
and understanding the communication style of someone else is
yeah,
an even bigger skill.
yeah,
So, you know, there's things wrapped up in that aren't just related to this, that just aren't your stuff. It's a style of being. How we communicate with kids is different to how we communicate with adults, you know, and adults communicate so differently. It's strange. I mean, for an example, couple of conversations with a girl, and I did not, she was English, I did not understand a word she said. And it wasn't because we didn't speak the same language, but her communication style and the way her brain thought was totally different to me. I did not understand what she was saying at all. It was really difficult. So we have different communication styles. So it's not just about, there's unresolved issues there.
yeah,
It's not just that. It's you understanding, how can I get heard by this person, by knowing their, how they communicate and how they see the world as well.
yeah,
So we're going to play the throat meditation. While
yeah,
you're doing that, Sam, I'm going to tune in, get my energy in the right place. I'm going to do the Chakra Alchemy system, which is discovering root cause issues, emotions, what's playing out right now, and then we'll clear that with a spiritual treatment. And we will also tune into the wise sage as well.
perfect.
So let me get the meditation. So just when you're ready, get yourself into the zone. Start to take some nice, slow, deep breaths in. Focusing on the heart. Expanding that awareness of the heart. Let it form a bubble. Pure love all around you. And just start to take your outer awareness within. Okay, so make yourself as comfortable as possible. Allow yourself to relax, closing your eyes, and take your attention within. Taking nice deep breaths. Breathing into the heart. And just imagine that heart space becomes expansive and full of this wonderful light. Allowing now your whole body to be filled with this wonderful light. And as you become embraced by this healing light, you feel safe, supported, and nurtured by this spiritual light within. And with every breath you take, you go deeper and deeper into this wonderful feeling within. And breathe. And imagine this healing light turning to the most beautiful blue color. The most beautiful blue you could ever imagine. And just feel or see or sense this blue color swirling around your throat and your neck and growing bigger, expanding through your shoulders and neck. Growing bigger, brighter, and more expansive with every breath you take and breathe. This swirling ball of blue light represents calmness, balance, truth, and integrity. And it swirls through the throat, in and out, front and back, completely unblocking your throat chakra. And take another deep breath, a really deep, meaningful breath now. And notice how clear and free your throat chakra feels. It's now spinning freely, ready for you to speak your truth, ready for you to communicate effectively and manifest the wonderful things you want in your life. And breathe. One of the most beautiful aspects of spiritual awakening is the discovery of one's own power. In each moment, we have a choice. We can choose to live differently by releasing what no longer serves us. And when we release certain fears, beliefs, or negative behaviors, we create space for more joy, positivity, flow, and abundance to come in as its replacement. So take this opportunity to bring to mind all the limiting beliefs, any negative feelings, any insecurities you may have been feeling lately, any fears, worries, or doubts, and any blocks that no longer serve you and are blocking your spiritual flow. and just bring them to mind. And on the next out breath, imagine blowing them away, letting them go, releasing them into the wind. And breathe. And gently repeat internally to yourself, or you may like to say this out loud. I honor my true self. I honor the truth of others. I express myself with ease and joy. And breathe. And in a moment, I'll count back from 3 to 1. And on the count of 1, you will open your eyes and be back present to carry on the rest of your day or to sleep so peacefully. 3, wiggling your fingers and toes. 2, stretching your back and neck. And 1, opening your eyes, feeling rejuvenated and refreshed.
Oh.
All right, so let's just tune into what that brought up for you. What emotions came up, or thoughts, feelings?
I initially felt strangled. That's what came up. Like, like there was, and I do feel it in my throat. Like when I don't speak, or I'm not being authentic, or I'm just whatever I'm doing. If I'm not doing it, I feel like I need to scream, and that came up. That like restrictive feeling in the throat. But then when you went on to about the releasing, it came, funnily enough, not on a personal level, more on a business level, about speaking your truth from your place of truth rather than what you believe others want to hear.
Yeah.
So those were the two.
Yeah. What I picked up with the Chakra Alchemy system was there was a core issue of safety. So, you know, often we hold back to keep ourselves safe. That's the primal, you know, reason for it. Emotions, hopelessness, grief and sadness, and anger. Blocking, letting go, family and abundance. Releasing from childhood events, grandparents, and social circle. Resonating at 85%. So it's playing out 85%, so it's big. The frequency is anger, and we are going to raise this by raising your frequency to one of self-esteem. And we're going to bring in color silver, which is desire to find meaning in your spiritual gifts, so alchemy qualities. And yeah, we're going to see who we're going to make an invocation to and bring in the wise sage. So on your workbook, you kind of felt quite good, even though you felt the throat was going to be the biggest sticking block for you.
Yeah.
By completing the workbook and seeing like the progress you've made, doing the 7 steps from root to throat, you've kind of like on self-reflection, you're like, wow, okay, I'm actually doing really well. So it was a bit of a pat on the back, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it would be, I don't know, an outpouring of like just not being able to speak. But yeah, when I started doing the workbook, it was like, oh, actually, no, where I am now is not where I believed I was, you know. If I'd started with the throat at the start, it would have been a very different workbook that you would have got compared to now.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see how important it is to start at the foundation, can't you? You know, and do it in layers, rather than if somebody came to you and said, I feel blocked, I think it's the throat issue of speaking out. It's important to kind of not to just go there, because it doesn't normally accumulate. It doesn't
Yeah,
normally start there. I mean, I'm not saying 100% of every person, but it's really good to look at the building blocks.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And I can see that how, when we explored the root, how those experiences impacted my beliefs and my behaviors that I've brought through, which have then impacted like all the other areas.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
definitely.
bring them through. The most painful, even though they might seem insignificant, the most painful experiences, and like I say, they don't have to be traumatic, it doesn't have to be abuse, it doesn't have to be any kind of trauma like that, but just what hurts you and embeds in you as a child, who can't rationalize
Yeah,
what the other person, the external factors, just what it means about them,
yeah,
that will store in a part of your brain that doesn't comprehend things, and it keeps hold of it emotionally. So
yeah,
every other thing that we can go, oh, that means that emotions, right, being triggered, you know, I'm right back there. And that's why as an adult we can have an experience, maybe like hubby doesn't hear what I'm saying, or he says certain things, triggers us right back to that wounding as a child that we haven't processed out of the brain. It's still locked in the brain.
yeah,
So this is very much now bringing it to conscious awareness, to process it, both parts of the brain working in tandem, processing and then releasing that emotion from the body. Okay, so we're going to go into another spiritual treatment. So let's just talk about the wise sage. So what, when I say the wise sage, what does it bring up for you?
wisdom.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and I very much feel that with you. You know, I feel like you totally embody the wise sage. So let's see how this plays out. So what this does is it transforms. So let me read. This is from the book,
okay,
Alchemy of the Soul. So this is the truth aspect we're working on. So this is the fifth spiritual center, truth consciousness, energy of authentic expression. It transforms blocked chakra energy that manifests life patterns of holding back your truth, playing small, being overlooked and undervalued. So the power archetype that we want to use here is the wise sage, and the attributes of the wise sage. This wise archetype can show sound judgment and have profound knowledge. A seeker of truth, they can be both reflective and questioning to determine it. In this way, questions are asked to find enlightenment and to help others onto their right path in life. They may be considered a great mentor to others or a great teacher, although their contemplative nature may be difficult for some to understand. In the right environment, they can help others to grow and develop, but always seeking truth and wisdom from the heart. This archetype has the power to alchemize negative thoughts and self-talk to compassionate loving kindness. Manifesting abilities are potent and powerful with this archetype through the spoken word. Okay. All right, so let's just see what's best for you. How does what Chakra Alchemy has found for you, how do they resonate with you with the emotions of the throat? Hopefully, grief, sadness, anger.
anger. The thing that's getting me is the 85%, like that it's playing out for me 85% currently. Which I wouldn't necessarily agree with. And in terms of, there is definitely anger around the not being heard,
Yeah.
and frustration. grandparents I didn't get.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't get the grandparents. Family, yeah. And I'm intrigued to me, what's letting go mean? You know, what does that mean?
It can mean different things, can't it? Letting go. It can mean your ability to let go and, you know, bring it all forward. Like you say, when you hold back, you feel that internal scream. It could mean that. Yeah.
I feel like being my authentic truth with my voice and my communication is so much more than it was. The frustration doesn't come from not speaking or not speaking my truth. The frustration and the anger comes from not being heard, or not being able to just have that space, having the space for someone to just listen, rather than when you talk to someone else and you express something, that the response is it's a problem solving response, or it's not just that's holding that space for you to just talk.
Yeah.
That's where my anger and frustration comes in, because I'm like, it's not that I need you to do that for me. I'm not saying I haven't got a problem with this. This is just something that's come up, a situation that I'm just expressing.
Yes. Yeah. So it sounds like the person you're communicating with is a fixer.
Yeah.
You know, maybe even a nurturer as well, you know, holds that energy, right? Okay, I'm going to solve this for you. Let me help you. You know, I don't want you to feel this burden anymore. Give it to me. Let's fix it, type of thing. So with the best intentions, but
Yeah.
I also understand that actually just having a conversation is important to have that thing going on. That
Like just back and forwards, and you know, like if I had a conversation with you about the same thing that I had the conversation with someone else about, I know the way that the responses would come would be totally different. I'd say the same thing, but how I was heard would be perceived differently.
Yeah. So okay, so would you like to clear this?
Oh yeah, that would be amazing to be able to. Yeah.
So think about the wise sage, and it'd be interesting to see how this archetype presents themselves to you. I definitely feel like this is a massive part of who you are anyway. So this should be quite beautiful for you. And don't forget, this energy will be with you as you move forward, the days, the weeks, whatever, after this session. So the invocation we're going to make is to Jupiter. And Jupiter is very expansive. It's a huge planet, and it expands everything it comes into contact with. So it is all about abundance. So one of the things this said it was blocking in your life right now is abundance. And abundance can come in all shapes and sizes, you know, for different reasons, whatever we feel we lack. So it will help to expand your self-awareness and really generate the things that you want. So we're clearing from the throat so you can have the authentic speak. And it's not just about, well, is this going to solve an issue with a said person? It's not about that. It's about your internal hopes, dreams, wishes, desires, you know, who you are as a person. And it's bringing that into full alignment with your spiritual self.
I think for me, the one thing that still I feel holds me back, and maybe where this is the letting go, is that although I can speak my truth, it's that judgment that comes with speaking your truth from others, not from yourself, but from others, and being able to not give a damn about that, because you are being authentic and you are being true to who you are, and your voice is as valid as everybody else's, would be amazing not to have that judgment of what others think.
Yeah. So that's the social circle bit.
Yeah.
So how big is this in your life?
I'd say that is 85% at the moment because of the business side of things and being out there in social media, you know, and being able to write. It's a very different, so, you know, we've gone through before about, you know, my love of writing, and I've started doing that again. But when I open a page and I'm thinking of what I should write, should being the operative word, for my audience to read, that's the judgment, versus what do I feel I just want to write.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're two totally different, they're coming from two totally different places. And when I'm in that place where I just think, oh, I read something and I just want to write, and I just open and I just brain dump, it comes, it flows, it feels, it's authentic, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Versus when I open a page and I think, right, I want to write about this, and I'm like, right, okay, what, you know, and I'm up here because I want to please my audience, or I want to appeal to them, or I don't want them to feel that judgment. I don't want to feel that judgment from them. It doesn't come. It's like that. It's just blocked. It's
No,
blocked.
because that takes you right back to all the, I'll say trauma, as
Yeah.
in, you know what I mean, in big inverted commas. That just takes you right back into the trauma,
Yeah.
and into the solar plexus and the projection about who you should be versus the
Absolutely.
heart and who you really are. So the silver color is good because it's going to bring in the desire to find meaning in your spiritual gifts and alchemy qualities. So alchemy is definitely part of the magician
Yeah.
archetype, but he's definitely part of the throat as well, because this is where we're going to be creating, you know, what we say we want.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how this affects you. All right, so in the normal way, darling, when you're ready, get yourself in the Z zone. Take yourself off to your safe space where you feel at peace. Just see yourself there, walking there. How it feels to be there. And just really breathe in the magnificence of the beauty that you can see around you. And as you're there, just have a look around. Maybe you find somewhere comfortable to sit. You could sit on a rock, a tree stump, on a bench, or you could sit on the grass. Just getting yourself comfortable, really feeling into the earth below your feet. Feeling totally connected to Mother Gaia. Just feeling that nurture of that mother's love. And just start to take some nice deep breaths in. And every breath that you start to take, you feel your four guides that have been with you so far on this journey, all just starting to step closer, forming a circle around you. Saying hello to each one as they present themselves to you. Your spiritual father, the emperor, your spiritual mother, the empress, the high priestess, the magician, and just notice how they look at you, their loving support, And just acknowledge and thank them for all the guidance they've been providing you with lately. Just notice if any one of them has a message for you right now. Maybe you've been stuck on something. Or maybe they want to share something with you. And now really feel that loving presence of the heart chakra archetype, really embracing you, the healer. The healer's been waiting to be with you for so long. And they're so, so, so pleased and proud of all the work that you've been doing to release any negative emotions, any grudges, any past hurts, grief or sadness that you've been holding on to. They're so pleased and proud of your ability to clear this so you can step into that pure love vibration. And as they just join together now, their circle of strength becomes even more powerful. And now just see out in front of you your throat chakra archetype just making their way towards you to join this circle of your spirit team. And this archetype is the wise sage. And as they draw closer to you, you feel their magnificent qualities, their ability to seek and speak the truth, their ability to share wisdom, to be a guide for others, and also an internal guide. As the wise sage joins your spirit team now, just notice what they have to say. I want you to imagine now that your wise sage archetype is now part of your powerful spirit team. Just places their hands very gently at the back of your neck and at the front, so holding your throat chakra within their hands. And just imagine this light emanates all the way through their hands and through your throat, absolutely clearing that energy. And you may see this as blue light, or it may seem a different colour for you. It might be white or gold, whatever colour is presented to you, that's right for your healing now. And here you're letting go of any energetic imbalances that have been holding you back from aligning to your true path and speaking your truth. All you need to do is see that light emanating right the way through your throat, front and back. And as the wise sage just steps back now, I'd like you to repeat these words after me. Jupiter, please assist me
Jupiter, please assist me
in expanding my self-awareness
in expanding my self-awareness
and my authenticity,
and my authenticity,
so I invoke and live my spiritual path.
so I invoke and live my spiritual path.
I ignite the beneficent power of Jupiter now.
I ignite the beneficent power of Jupiter now.
I call forth your optimism and abundance into my life.
I call forth your optimism and abundance into my life now.
Help me to channel
Help me to channel
my abundant divine vision
my abundant divine vision
into the reality of my life.
into the reality of my life.
As I speak my truth,
As I speak my truth,
I am totally aligned to my divine spiritual purpose.
I am totally aligned to my divine spiritual purpose.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And just breathe that in, Sam. And then your next in-breath, Sam, just bring in the beautiful colour silver. And breathe it in head to toe. This colour silver helps you find the meaning in your spiritual gifts, and it will help you bring that forward in your life and in your business. And as you breathe in that colour silver, it becomes stronger and stronger. And as you do that, raise your frequency to one of self-esteem. That you know your value. You feel how high value you are. That who you are is absolutely priceless. And you can feel that with every fibre and with every cell of your body. And just really bring in that power feeling of having high self-esteem. Having total high regard. You know how powerful. You know your value. You know your worth. And just bring that feeling to a peak, Sam, as if it were going to burst out your body. You can't contain that feeling of self-esteem any longer. And do that now. Okay, well done. Now just thanking your amazing, powerful spirit team. Know they're always with you. And just bid them farewell as one by one, they now start to fade away, still with you in your energy field. In a moment, I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and on the count of 1, you can open your eyes and be back with me. So 3, just feeling the chair supporting your body, and 2, feeling your feet against the floor, and 1, just taking a nice deep breath in. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and be back with me.
Oh, I didn't want to come back.
No, I know, I can imagine. How did that feel?
Oh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I could feel that. I wanted to, well, I was there, but yeah, I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Oh, so nice. Oh, yeah, I didn't want to come back.
No. So tell me about your experience.
Funnily enough, I went to a different place.
Yeah.
I didn't go to my normal place.
Okay.
So I was in a different place, like a wooded meadow. And I sat against a tree.
Nice.
Kind of leaning back against the tree. And they all kind of came in one by one. And the healer came and held my hand. And before you even said the words that when you said about a message, he said to me, "We are so proud of you."
Oh.
And then you said to me, "They're so proud of you." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
We are so proud of you and where you are heading and all the work that you've done." And then the wise sage appeared, and she was this tiny old leathered skinned like, Native American feathers.
Oh wow.
Like she was just this wise, like she must be like 200 years old. She was like,
Oh, cool.
So wise, so knowing. Yeah. And she had a little stick.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, I love that.
And the healer took her stick. It was so visual.
It's so powerful though.
He took her stick and held it so that she could put her hands like
that's so
back. But I was quite tall compared to. It was just so visual, so visual. She was tiny.
How did that feel with the?
Yeah, beautiful. The whole thing was just beautiful. Yeah, I felt really supported, really loved, really secure, really grounded. The surroundings were just amazing and stunning, and yeah, I just felt like I felt held when she put her hands on me. Like I just felt held, like all of her wisdom was just being imparted into me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Any messages from the wise sage? Or
she didn't give a message as such. It was just like a knowing. There was like this almost like you don't need to try, almost like this, rather than this is the message that I've got for you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so powerful. So just stay in that vibration. Self-esteem is the key. Just keep on with that feeling. Bring in the silver.
It's funny, when you said silver and self-esteem, it was a thermometer. Like I was imagining that old thermometer, like the mercury, where when you had a temperature, it would go.
It's a good one to think of it that way, to raise that frequency, because that's how you blast anything away. So keep doing that. Let's see what transpires in the days to come. And thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.
Brilliant. Loved it.
Good. All right, babes, take care, enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rest. Bye, love. Bye.